A journey that began in March culminates with the Eastern Conference Final in the USL Championship here in South Carolina. It's third-seeded Charleston Battery and fifth-seeded Louisville City FC. With Devin Kerr, Michael Watring, great to have you on board here this evening. Louisville City is in a 9th consecutive Eastern Conference Final. They fell behind in the first minute to Memphis, won the match in penalties in a dominating performance against Detroit. Meanwhile, Charleston has not trailed so far in this tournament, winning it last week in the semifinals against Birmingham. Why are the Battery here? Devin Kerr takes us ahead of the curve.
Coming off the worst season in Charleston Battery history, the ownership group knew they needed to make a change, so they go and get Lee Cohen with 14 years of front office experience, ranging from director of ops to president, most recently of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. But you need someone to lead from the sideline. They get Ben Pierman from Memphis 901 FC, your 2022 USL Championship Coach of the Year. The partnership that could be turned into a massive influence on what would be the largest season-to-season turnaround in USL Championship history. This team has looked beautiful through 34 games, but right now all they care about is the next 90 minutes and an Eastern Conference title.
While the Battery have a massive turnaround, no team in league history has more conference titles than Lou City's 4.
Death, taxes, Louisville City in the Eastern Conference Final. This team has seen everything. They've seen regular season titles, the #1 overall seed. They've listed the East. They put stars above the crest. It was a struggle this year, but they feel they are right back where they belong, because after 34 games, they care about postseason play, and they've done it better than no one in the history of the league since 2015, when conference play was established. Only the Tampa Bay Rowdies and New York Red Bulls 2 have been able to get within a third of the historical output that Louisville City have brought forth so far.
Does Charleston become the 3rd team in league history to miss the playoffs the year before and go to the title game the next year? Or does Lou City win a 5th conference championship? We answer those questions and more when we come back. It is the 2023 USL Championship Eastern Conference Final next.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
You hear all the time about Diamonds Direct's prices and selection and warranties. All true, and all good reasons to give us a visit. But what really sets Diamonds Direct apart is something that's hard to put into words. But you will feel it. You'll know it from the minute you walk in. It's our unique culture, our passion, our genuine and absolute desire to totally revolutionize the way you experience jewelry shopping. It's why we do what we do. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete. You're obsessed. You're in love. You're in pain. Spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity. Because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Bud Light. For Charleston, just the one change. Fidel Barajas not available this evening. Tristan Traeger slides into the starting 11.
That's going to be the look that everybody is going, okay, wait, what are they going to do for assists? Because when you lose 11 assists, you don't need to get an immediate replacement. That's what the Charleston Battery need to think, as opposed to what everybody else is going to. Watch Derek Dodson on the right-hand side. Late season acquisition is Segbers. Dodson makes this back line tick to get this team going in transition.
Charleston led by Ben Pierman, his first season with the Battery, last year's USL Championship Coach of the Year at Memphis 901 FC. He said, emotions are good. Body telling you that you need to have those emotions. Wants to see that from the Battery tonight. And now for the starters for Lou City. 0 changes, as you would expect for a team coming off of a great performance against Detroit.
It ain't broke, so we're not fixing it. That's basically where Danny Cruz is at for a team that knows postseason success and knows what to do. The question for me is going to be, do they know what to do in the final third once again? Coming off the 4-0 drubbing over Detroit City. Brian Ownby, Jorge Gonzalez, Cam Lancaster were fantastic. I especially want to watch the front three. What does that look like? Are they going to stay wide? Are they going to pinch to the interior? With as aggressive as a backline as you're going to get out of the Charleston Battery, the space is going to be there, but defensively you have to eliminate the threat that are the two central midfielders in Ikaza and Allen for the Charleston Battery.
These two sides played twice this year. A 1-1 draw on August 9th. That was in Louisville, while a 0-0 draw at Patriots Point on April 22nd. Which team gets the bragging rights in the Eastern Conference? Is it the Battery or is it Lou City? Should be a fun one this evening. Lou City in the whites, the Battery in the black and yellow. Just about ready to kick things off. Our official tonight was the official in the championship match last season, Elvis Osmanovic. Gets the call this evening. He checks his watch. The much anticipated Eastern Conference final just about ready to start. The whistle blows. Let's light this candle. It's the 2023 USL Championship Eastern Conference final. Charleston Battery and Louisville City FC. Third time they've met in the postseason. Danny Cruz talked about with Louisville City a quick start. They gave up a goal to Memphis in the first minute of that match. They have not conceded since nearly 180 straight minutes without a goal conceded. The winner goes to the final. That'll be next Sunday at 7 p.m. Michael Watring, Devin Kerr with you. Hope you can get cozy and stay a while with us here this evening on this Saturday as we watch this one with you here tonight. There's Danny Cruz, his third season at the helm. They lost 12 matches this year. They lost 13 total in his first 2 years. And he talked about this is a different Lou City team. They finished 5th on the league table this year. That's the lowest finish for the club in its history. But they are right back where they belong in the Eastern Conference final for a 9th year in a row.
Now, the pillars of excellence that were established in 2015 just continued to be part of the temple of worship for Louisville City that understands you have to continue forth and follow that vision, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how bad things have been. The blips of good that need to be great, that's the most important thing for them. And Louisville City, as rough as it's been at certain points in times of year, they've still continued to see it out. And once again, you and I are sitting here talking about the wonder that is the Eastern Conference team, Louisville City. 9 Eastern Conference final appearances, 4 titles so far, 2 stars above the crest, with the hope that there's another one there. And you got to tip the hat, because this could have been a team that could have been sitting worse, 6th, 7th, or 8th. They could have said, you know what, we aren't at our best, and we bow out. Instead, they worked even harder, they put their heads down, and they're back in familiar territory.
Both of these sides had very frustrating seasons at times this year. Talk about the end of the regular season for Lou City. A loss to New Mexico, then Hartford, a draw against the team that finished with the fewest points in the league this year, and then a loss to Tampa Bay in the regular season finale. It was a rough start to the postseason as well, while Charleston had that rough stretch in the middle of the summer, including a 7-0 loss at home to San Antonio. Well, both groups have risen above and are playing their best soccer in October and November right now. No foul whistled here. Instead, Miguel tries to funnel forward. Here's a sprinting run. Markanek splitting. Ownby commits the foul, and our first booking of the night is shown to Brian Ownby.
We mentioned coming in that the front line of Louisville City was going to have to be very active tonight, but defensively, what sort of balance and coverage could they provide? And you get a real good look early on, because both Jorge Gonzalez and Brian Ownby are at call to arms, deep within their own enemy territory, with all of the runs that can be. This Charleston Battery team, they're comfortable on the ball. There's no doubt about that. But when at their best, it's open field of play, regardless of the amount of yardage they have to step into to drive centrally and still allow them support to the outside. Good look just a couple of minutes in.
Yellow cards brought to you by Spinks Convenience Stores located across South Carolina. And this is a juicy opportunity at the outset. Elvis Omanovic, he gives out roughly 5 cards per match, but he only gave out 1 red card this year. But here's an opportunity for Charleston. Arturo Rodriguez wants this. He's the lone man on top of it. 5 men in the wall. Arturo Rodriguez gets it over the top. It's magnificent from Rodriguez. And a flawless start for Charleston at home in the Eastern Conference Final. A free kick goal from Rodriguez. 1-0 the lead for the Battery.
Everything coming into the match from both Ben Pierman, the leader of the Charleston Battery, and Danny Cruz when asking them what would be the key component in separation between the two. Restarts, dead balls, a massive mistake, or a moment of brilliance. 3 out of 4 is not bad. Arturo Rodriguez with his wand just up over the top. It's got a perfect amount of pace. Enough precision to bend it back across. Ali Zemla trusts the wall, but trusts no one when it comes to the Eastern Conference Final and the brilliance that is the Charleston Battery 5 minutes in.
19th goal this season off of a set piece by Charleston. How about Arturo Rodriguez? His first season with the club. He scored against Indy in the quarterfinal. Talk about a player that has that pedigree. Was the USL League One MVP, winning a postseason championship with North Texas in 2019. While there's experience with this Lou City side at the professional level postseason, Charleston has plenty of players that reach the pinnacle either at the USL League One or with their respective college teams. That's what Ben Pierman talked to us about. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Gildan, a leader in high-quality, comfortable apparel basics located right here in the Low Country.
The Charleston Battery have to be balanced, and the early goal is great, but this isn't a team that can rest on one star player going and get a result. Everybody's got to be at the height of their game, and certainly against Louisville City. So if it's right, if it's left, defensively, you need a full performance to get a result tonight. Louisville is simple. It's goals. Goals win games, and the finesse that was the 4-0 win against Detroit City in the final third has to step up once again. They've struggled all season long, but come postseason time, it feels like they've turned a corner. Can they continue to lap?
Rodriguez powers this straight into the air. Zemla snatches it out of the sky. Lou City have been here before. I mentioned the goal that they allowed to Memphis. Bruno Lapa in the first minute of the quarterfinal. Cameron Lancaster would respond less than 20 minutes later. That match would go to penalties. Danny Cruz wanted a fast start, said that that was going to be one of the things that he would talk to his team about right out of the outset. But it has not been. Nick Markanek set it up, and Arturo Rodriguez finishes. A foul whistled. And a free kick coming. Manny Perez guilty of the infraction. Charleston is in a conference final for the first time since 2013. They lost that match to Richmond 3-2. 2012, they would win in penalties against Rochester and then win the championship over Wilmington, 1-0. Michael Azira's game winner in the 74th minute. The championship match in the back of the mind now here in the Eastern Conference Final. 1-0, Charleston out in front, 5th minute goal off of a set piece, a free kick from Arturo Rodriguez. Markanek defending this time. Rifles one across the yard. Maggie Williams gives chase.
With the amount of speed that you're going to get out of Augustine Williams up top, and as good as Louisville City will be in possession, don't be surprised if you get a bit more in rotation out of the right side of Louisville City with Manny Perez pushing through. Wes Sharpie more than capable at the outside back spot in one-on-one situations, but if they pivot more on the right, they can drop into the 3, overload the midfield. That also gives you 3v1 coverage. So if the Battery do try and isolate Augie Williams up over the top, simple mathematics. You win that equation, you cut down the angles, and you give yourself the opportunity to succeed defensively.
Lancaster draws the foul on the captain, Archer. And now it's a set-piece opportunity here for Lou City. 10th minute, Battery lead 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Final. Arturo Rodriguez's free kick goal in the 5th minute. The difference, Michael Watring, Devin Kerr, our entire crew. Elated to have this one for you here tonight.
What sort of trickery lies for Louisville City in the pursuit of the equalizer? They can be quite coy from this angle. A lot of rotation, trailing runs, certainly things cut back to the top of the box.
Mogel curls. Back post target. Out and away. Throw in though for Lou City, as they try to find an equalizer here inside of the first quarter hour. Defending strong. Markanik again in a position inside of his own territory. It hit him last. Throw-in coming again for the boys in purple. What an atmosphere it is here tonight at Patriots Point. Oh, Del Piccolo. He's got a wardrobe issue and needs a new right cleat. Might switch both.
Del Piccolo trying to slow up the run of play to not allow the restart to come. It looked like his right boot just ran right out of it. And now he's trying to change altogether to new studs as Louisville City get themselves back into action. Good news is they're compressed quite deep right now, and so don't really have to deal with any sort of massive defensive issue. Kind of funny how some things that change and mostly they stay the same. You're 12, you're 13 years old, you don't want to get rid of your favorite boots. Paulo Del Piccolo, mainstay within Louisville City organization since 2016, favoriting one of his preferred choice of studs, and yet Mother Nature had other ideas early on.
Maybe easier to change the boots when you're down 1-0. If you're superstitious and you were up 1-0, you wouldn't want to change it. Williams sends it away. Sharpie resets. Kyle Adams, the season acquisition from San Diego, passes to the right channel, and it's kept in play. Gonzalez the last to touch in a throw-in, or check that, a goal kick rather, for Charleston. Danik touches it. Rodriguez in a foot race against Tosh. Tosh knocks him down, and it's a free kick again for Charleston.
And coming back to the idea of springing Augie Williams earlier, the good news is you don't have just one speedster up top. Christian Traeger, Arturo Rodriguez, and Markanik can all suffice as an option when you continue to move forward. And notice how Arturo Rodriguez on the diagonal. Yes, there's a foul that comes out of it. He's moving away from the center spot, but he's dragging Sean Tosh in that back line with him. He steps on it and pulls it back. Plenty of space.
Hard hit ball, bounced by Traeger, Williams a second chance. Just goes above the bar.
Paolo Del Piccolo irate towards the assistant referee. Felt like this was an offside move on the ball that came back across. That second touch just in front, which actually had Emilio Icaza breaking to the near post. You know, the emotion was an interesting conversation for both of these coaches and how to harness it. And you know, some guys take it, take full advantage. Just don't let it overrun your body. Others remove it. You know, find your fortress of solitude and just stay within that friendly confines. It keeps that equilibrium so that you don't waver one way or the other, and the consistency of performance is much higher.
Good ball played through here. Rodriguez, Traeger bends it all the way across. Nobody making that run. Too deep with Williams crashing to the near post. Traeger with 5 goals this season steps in for Fidel Barajas, who's with the Mexican U17 group getting ready for the World Cup that starts next week. Barajas 11 assists for the season. Has a goal and 2 assists in the tournament, and they will be without him for the rest of the postseason. Ownby glides over to the sideline. Ownby gets to the touchline, pushes it in. Muse grabs it. Icaza slices it. Rodriguez chooses Dodson. Dodson shaking. Fine work defensively. A miss hit there. Dodson through resistance, and it goes for a throw. Dodson tosses after studying, and now Dodson. Williams, and it was last touched by Lou City. And a corner coming up here for the Battery. The team has attempted more shots or shots on target in the postseason than this Charleston side. Roughly 17 shots per match through the first 2. Rodriguez sets up another corner. Rodriguez spies, fires through. It bounces off of 2 Lou City defenders. It has to be funneled away by a falling Mogel.
I would start having a massive conversation if I'm Ali Zemla on the second and third balls that are starting to drop right in front of my goal, and what could have been a very fortuitous bounce for the Charleston Battery had Jorge Gonzalez had his arm extended away from his body. Third time, 18 minutes in, that we've seen a ball whipped in, and it's dropped not a second, but a third time to allow someone to step through. You got to command. And that's not to say that Ali Zemla has to come and collect that ball. That means the level of aggression when these balls are being whipped in has to come to another level for Louisville City to clear this off.
Charleston, the second youngest team in the championship this year. An average age of 25 years old. Only Loudon was younger. Lou City, meanwhile, an average age of 28. One of the most experienced groups in the league. 1-0 start for Charleston. Rodriguez had the magic foot on a free kick in the 5th minute. Now it's a short corner. Despite slipping, the pass comes in. Williams. That was Dotson trying to get to it. And now a takeaway. Where does this ball end up? Rodriguez right along the chalk. Ikaza. Over to Dotson. Dotson twirls it in. Sent right back in his direction. Ownby forced to get it away. And Charleston putting Lou City under a great deal of stress in the opening 20 minutes. 1-0 Battery in front. Arturo Rodriguez's free kick in the 5th minute, the difference. Michael Watring, Devin Kerr, and our entire crew watching it with you here this evening in the Eastern Conference Final of the USL Championship. Dotson takes this quick throw. Williams the target, instead headed out, and another corner coming up. Rodriguez. First ball won by Ikaza. Nobody over there. Augie Williams will get to the second phase ball. Allen circles. Allen. Everybody for Lou City back inside of that 18. There's plenty of space on this right-hand side. Rodriguez again into the box. Headed this time off the crossbar. Second chance. Allen blocked away. Third opportunity. Lou City dodges a bullet. And now the counter is on. Can Lou City take advantage? Ownby in space. Lancaster to his left. Ownby slips. Ownby shoots! Wide. Promising counter from Lou City. End-to-end play.
It's an incredible recycled movement by the Charleston Battery, and what you need to make sure of if you're Arturo Rodriguez to get this in quickly, and he does. Derek Dotson after the redirect. They get caught ball watching here, a tiny touch. Everybody feels like this is just going to continue to bounce around, and you forget about the fact that you've got to immediately spring the other direction. This is what we talked about coming in the front three, whether it's Ownby, Lancaster, or Gonzalez. Once the turnover happens, can you spring quickly the other way and take advantage of all the space? A bit unfortunate on the tail end of it for the tiny slip for Brian Ownby, but certainly the best opportunity that Louisville have experienced 23 minutes into this game. A pressure relief, but something that needs to stay. The pressure's got to stay up high right now because of how deep they've been for the first half of this opening 45 minutes.
You wanted to see how Lou City would handle if those wing backs for Charleston would come forward. They would have some space in the attack. And on that counterattack, they did their first shot of the match.
Well, Michael, one of the bigger problems that they're having is if you just watch the two holding midfielders for the Charleston Battery, Emilio Ikaza, 8, Chris Allen, 4. What Louisville's trying to do is pinch them to the outside. The problem is whether it's been Brian Ownby or Jorge Gonzalez, the Battery have done a really good job recognizing that the initial threat is closed down, and they either get their outside back to drop a bit deeper as a secondary option, or there's more depth than normal within the two central midfielders for the Battery. So they beat the first one, ball comes central, and now all of a sudden it's a waterfall effect for Louisville. You're watching them chase to the next player, to the next player, and if you're the Charleston Battery, it's just tic-tac-toe. You pick which way you want to go because of that opening pass to break the pressure.
The foul, as Changer takes a tumble. Sharpie on his backside, free kick coming. Wondered what kind of match we would see tonight between Charleston and Lou City. Third time they've met in the postseason. Lou City has won both. First time they've met since the East semifinals. That was a 1-0 win for Lou City in a 2 versus 6 matchup. This Charleston number 3. Blue City number 5. Both teams could host the final. It will require Phoenix to beat Sacramento in the West tonight at 10 p.m. The final next Sunday at 7 p.m. Blue City looking for more possession after Charleston have started out with an onslaught. Adams looking for Sharpie. Dodson in a foot race as well. Sharpie, the first man there, couldn't bend it around, sends it to the seats. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Get a head start on 2024 by visiting charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point.
Better on the build, better on the pressure, and Louisville City, the little knock that was just right in front of the fourth official. Osmanovic rewarding them for their efforts, and it's that right there. Let's say that the overall infraction to begin with, but certainly the elbow away from the body for Augustine Williams causes the stoppage of play. I mentioned it was a better build. It's a new idea for Louisville City within this match. Certainly not overall that Ryan Ownby, as he comes a little bit and just starts to pinch into the gray area off the left shoulder of Cameron Lancaster. You make Derek Dotson, the outside back for the Charleston Battery, make a decision. Am I going to track with him? And if I do, I've still got to be aware of the space over my right shoulder. That's why Wes Sharpie is able to come up high, get into that overlapping run, and find a bit of real estate to step into. Now all of a sudden, you've added a second layer. Now where's the third? Where's the fourth? Can you do it on the right? Can you find a way to play off of that front three, not just necessarily in transition like we've seen?
Good run here, but the back line, 2 at first. Juan Palma clears the area out towards midfield. Charleston 7 shots to 1 leaders right now. The home side in this Eastern Conference final. 2012 champion. Blue City has won 2. Lancaster. Brings it back. Ownby. Lancaster. Gibson switches it to the right side. This is better from Lou City. And shut down. Tosh curls one around. Ownby the closest target. Charleston passes the defensive test. Adams is down as he crosses the field. There's a foul. It was interesting talking to Danny Cruz. At the beginning of the season, they were so strong defensively. They weren't scoring goals, however, even though they had the quality, they had the ability. He admitted perhaps he overcorrected a little bit. They started to score more, but defensively they started to concede more. Feels like maybe at this point in the season he's starting to find a good balance between the two.
In so many games there's the 1-0s, right, squeaking things out, where the level of creation, certainly compared to years past, wasn't the same. And as a manager, you start to chase very interesting places within your mind to try and find solutions to that, when sometimes it's just the simplest one right in front of you, continuing to stay that course. He does say that the level of confidence within that conversation was lacking then, probably lacking still a little bit now, though. Again, anytime, regardless of opponent, you come off of a performance where you put 4 in the back of the net, that's not going to hurt. And heading into an Eastern Conference final, heading into any fixture, I would also say that there is something that at any level of competition, regardless of sport, that when you've reached the highest of highs before, and certainly with a group that carries so much pedigree, such as the returning players for Louisville City do, it's almost a conclusion that's already there that you're going to do it again, regardless of circumstance, right? And that's sort of where Lou City is at right now. This isn't the best that we've seen them, not just within this year, but any previous year. And yet, the desire to dig, to fight, still gets them to the desired location.
Traeger commits the foul here. Sharpie goes down, free kick for Lou City. Both of these teams have had similar paths to this point, albeit in reverse. Charleston 5-0 winners against Indy 11. 3 first-half goals in that one, then tied at 1 into the 68th minute before Derek Dodson won it against Birmingham in the semifinals. Lou City 1-1 through 18 minutes against Memphis, went to PKs, won that match, and then 2 first-half goals and a 4-0 win over Detroit City in the semis. 1-0 Charleston here as we reach the 30-minute mark of this match. Battery scoring in the 5th minute. Arturo Rodriguez, a free kick goal after Marcanic set it up. Ownby ends it in, back out, Gibson. Tries a shot, ping-pongs around. Rodriguez spins. Schmitz hits it. With Devin Kerr, Michael Watchring, and our entire crew watching this one with you here on a Saturday evening. The conference final doubleheader starting tonight in South Carolina. Ownby. Bounces it off a defender, and Lou City will now get their turn at a corner kick. Carlos Mogel Jr. will head over in that direction. All 3 of his assists this season have come since September. All have been off corner kicks. The 20-year-old, despite the fact we talk about all this experience that Lou City has, they still do have that sprinkle of youth. Miguel, Shelbyville, Kentucky, tries to bring Lou City back to level terms. Now some pushing and shoving inside of the 18. Lancaster, Marcanic. Miguel trying to be the conductor. Boomerangs the ball. Charleston wins the first. Second phase now. Mogel, second try at it. Once again, access denied. Perez reshapes. Charleston defends. In the box this one goes. Sent away once more. Every pass inside of the 18. There's a black and yellow jersey there to intercept. Defensive work. Augie Williams holds it up and draws the foul. Charleston scored right at the outset of this match. Arturo Rodriguez over 5 men in the wall. Oliver Semla couldn't quite get the right hand to it. An electric atmosphere amplified even further as Rodriguez scores for the 2nd time in the postseason. What a great start for the Battery. Still leading 1-0, and Rodriguez has been the best man on the field so far. He's played with such a great sense of confidence. A League One champion in 2019 with North Texas. Spent time with Phoenix. Over 50 appearances with the Rising. Phoenix and Sacramento to come tonight. One of these 2 teams could host if Phoenix wins. Otherwise, it would be a cross-country road trip to Sacramento for the league final next Sunday at 7 p.m. Does Lou City find an answer in the final quarter hour of the first half? Defensively stout early. Segbers turned over. Gonzalez. Recovery runs from Charleston have been good. Segber's trying to get there again. Gonzalez, a long carry. Gonzalez, Ownby through. Has to be shoveled away at the end. Magnificent surge there by Gonzalez.
Beautiful craftsmanship on the outside by Jorge Gonzalez, who had no options whatsoever, albeit on his own, to just create from within. 1v3. Beautiful in the tight-knit spaces. Again, I said to you coming in that the biggest thing for me for Louisville was certainly going to be what sort of quality could be produced by the front line, but not necessarily just them in their creation of goals. What could they do after they've broken down the initial line of confrontation from the Charleston battery? And Jorge Gonzalez is looking for that there. He gets through 3 separate guys, probably should not have been able to break through, but as he produces, he's got no trailing runs. And that's something where if Louisville City want to find success tonight, they're going to have opportunities. How many is going to be the question, but in open spaces, transitionally. Certainly, when the battery break themselves open and get high. The next question is going to be is when the first square ball is not back across, can you find Paolo Del Piccolo or Carlos Mogel trailing 8-yard box just inside, top of the 18, on the penalty mark. Bread and butter for so many seasons before, and that's an area that the Charleston battery can certainly open themselves up to.
Williams unable to complete the pass. Throw in here for Lou City. And a Louisville City side trying to do something that has not been done since 2015. And that's a team that finished 5th or lower in a division, or in a conference rather, to make the final. LA Galaxy 2 did so in 2015 as the number 5 seed. They would fall to Rochester in the final 2-1. Chris Allen down there. Ben Pierman admitting one of his first moves when he accepted the job was ensuring that Chris Allen would join him from Memphis. Both he and Emilio Icaza have been absolutely terrific in the midfield this season.
The problem for the Charleston battery is they had to wait a little bit of time to find out if that was actually going to be the preferred pairing. Stepped into the year, Emilio Icaza with a broken leg to start the year. Then could it be Andrew Booth, who certainly is still available for selection coming off the bench, but Andrew Booth involved in that conversation. They've had Robbie Crawford rotated in and out of there. The hope was that in the absence of Emilio Icaza, it was going to be Dante Polvara, former running mate of Derek Dotson in the national title-winning Georgetown Hoyas. He was on loan from Aberdeen. His performances had him called back across the pond, and now we're here.
Segber's Williams the target. Semla grabs it. That onslaught of shots in about a 10-minute window in the middle of this first half. Charleston continues to lead 7-2 overall on shots. Neither of the 2 shots from Lou City have been on target. In fact, the only one tonight was Rodriguez's goal in the 5th minute.
Lou City doing a much better job on the ball overall, I would say. Maintaining that keen awareness as they continue where the options are coming from. Problem is defensively, as they try and tweak themselves. It's Carlos Mogel and Del Piccolo fluctuating towards one side. They both come high all of a sudden. Good disposition by both Chris Allen and Emilio Icaza, not to be rattled, just sitting back, allowing the play to stay in front of them, almost man-via-man marking there, and then when you come back the other way defensively, jumping the routes better. Not as much breakthrough coming centrally. Good work ethic by Del Piccolo and the aforementioned Bogel. And most of the game right now just staying on the outside. Neither team willing to let anybody come route one. Cue it.
Ownby past one, but Traeger. Icaza takes a tumble. Ownby commits the foul. Cruz having a chat with our 4th official tonight. Another look at it. Be right there, right on Icaza. Easy call. Emilio Icaza has goals in both playoff matches so far after he had just 2 in his prior 28. And that's something that Ben Pierman talked about. He talked about his admiration for Michigan State men's basketball coach Tom Izzo. And sometimes you need luck, sometimes you need a star that you might not expect. Ownby gives chase. There is a foul whistled here. Will there be more? Leland Archer came over. There's a word to say. He will not get booked. And in the 40th minute, it'll be a set piece here for Lou City.
This is a high footballing IQ from Brian Ownby, who knows that the odds that he's going to be able to pick up possession here and continue the run forth are slim. Just a quick explosion as he steps in. He plays the angle game on Leland Archer, and he baits the center back into it. He knows the contact is going to come, and they're going to be able to pick up a dead ball if he can be the first one to step into it. Well done by Brian Ownby.
Moments like these magnified. We saw it when Rodriguez scored in the 5th minute on a set piece. Free kick, beautifully taken. Mogel this time does his research. Throws a ball in, use right hand, strong, sturdy punch. Ownby. He recovers the second ball. With 5 minutes plus any stoppage time to go in the first half of the Eastern Conference Final. Does Louisville come on the road and pull out an equalizer here late in this first half? Del Piccolo. Sharpie. Piccolo once more. Thought about passing in. Instead, gives way once again for Sharpie. Excellent pass here, Mogel. Shooting, easily covered by Muse. It was right at him the entire way. Lancaster gave it a go, though.
The seams are there for Louisville City. The side to side and the way that they're trying to get the Charleston battery to shift much better. More movement up top as well. Fluctuating side to side from Brian Ownby. Jorge Gonzalez, the cross patterns causing some issues, and the most important thing is getting Cameron Lancaster on the ball. 42 minutes into the match, and we've really only seen the number 9 and his abilities on full display over the past 5 minutes. Right back into action. Again, the guessing game. Just keep the idea that what you think is going to be coming will immediately change for the Charleston battery defensively. You got to stay active and got to keep them guessing. And interesting little move behind the scenes there from Osmanovic. Friendly reminder that Brian Ownby's sitting on a yellow card, and the infraction that will occur down into the corner. Didn't think that there was much in it. If anything, that looks like Derek Dodson's already going to ground and asking the referee for a bit of help. Brian Ownby's going to feel a bit unfortunate. Paolo Del Piccolo talking him off a ledge in that situation. Just watch Derek Dodson's body as he goes to ground here. He starts to lean. See, it's very close to the arm. The other angle gives you a better idea. But credit to Dodson. He understands very similarly to what we saw with Archer and Brian Ownby that the contact is coming.
Lancaster has scored in 3 straight, including a brace in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference against Detroit. He be fouled here at the end of the first half. Charleston will steal a second. No foul here. Lou City can give it forward. Lancaster doesn't connect with that pass, does get it back. 3 defenders around him at all times. Uses his chest. Sharpie, pass intercepted. Rodriguez goes down, and a foul whistle. Rodriguez wants a booking on Del Piccolo.
He's got something to say about it as well. The amount of space that was open for Arturo Rodriguez. Why Sharpie, not only has he waited a bit too long, but ball's in behind Paolo Del Piccolo. Really has no choice. Has to take matters into his own hands, and this is the marking that I was talking about. Really good job by Lou City over the past 10 or 15 minutes, that everything kept on the exterior of the field. Gives you the ability, if separation occurs, most of it is actually coming around the back and forcing the Charleston battery to find another avenue. The one thing that if you could say is a detriment to the Charleston Battery is their predictability. They are extremely predictable in how they are going to build. The counter argument, they're incredibly efficient. So it doesn't matter that you know where the threats are going to come from. Usually, they're just willing to outwork you to get to it. It's that plain and simple. Nothing has changed for the most part over the course of the season. They're going to counter. They're going to try and find ways to break you down on set pieces. You know the relationship on the inside is going to be Chris Allen and Emilio Icaza. And apart from that, they don't really deviate. It's one thing that has really been an issue trying to build over the past couple of minutes, because as good as Louisville City have figured themselves out on the defensive front, Charleston Battery have faded in that conversation.
Louisville City full throttle here in the waning moments of the first half, but a foul whistle. Extra Time is brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. 1 minute of stoppage time here in half number one. Devin, how do you assess what we've seen from these two sides through this opening 45 minutes of the Eastern Conference Final?
I would just come off of the comments right there for the Charleston Battery that the ideas have to start to vary when you move forward here, because the predictability aspect, as good as you are over the course of the season, Louisville City have an idea too. They've watched the film. You know exactly what's in your DNA for both of these teams. So how do you vary your thought process once you start to step over the midfield line? And that's where they've really gotten themselves into trouble. So let's change it up a little bit. If you're Ben Pierman, that's going to be a conversation to be cleaner on the ball. If you're Louisville City, I would just continue down this path. You know, the way that they've started the cross patterns up top, the ability to get Mogel and Del Piccolo on the ball a bit more, certainly more advanced positions for Manny Perez. Their biggest threat is that they're multifaceted. And it really took them about 30 minutes to get going. But if they want to find success, they continue forth in that direction.
Mogel, Muse grabs it. And there's your first half whistle. And it is Charleston, a team that finished with just 25 points a year ago, had the greatest turnaround in league history, plus 34 points, on top with 45 minutes to go. 1-0 the advantage. Arturo Rodriguez's free kick goal in the 5th minute is the difference. 1-0 Battery out in front of Lou City here in the Eastern Conference Final. Halftime report comes your way right around the corner.
There's a brand new morning, rising clear and sweet and free. There's a new day dawning that belongs to you and me.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete. You're obsessed. You're in love. You're in pain. Spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity. Because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Halftime at Patriots Point in the 2023 USL Championship Eastern Conference Final. Charleston leads Louisville 1-0. Michael and Devin back with you as we take a look at the Western Conference bracket. And it is a Sacramento group squaring off against a Phoenix side. Sacramento with victory 1-0 over New Mexico, and then 3-1 over San Antonio. Meanwhile, Phoenix on the other side beating San Diego 4-3, and then 2-1 over Orange County to get to this point. Sacramento finished with the best record in the league this season. And what do you see out of the Sacramento side?
One would argue that this is one of the more balanced teams we've seen in the USL Championship in quite some time. Top on the defensive front, incredible attacking when they start to move into the final third. And the question for them is going to be, how good are they on the day? Yeah, of course, we get that. But for me, it's in the midfield. Is Arnold Lopez healthy? He came out in that clash against San Antonio FC. And how much do you get out of Roro Lopez? All of a sudden, you've got real good ideas from Russell Cicerone up top. He's scoring at a Golden Boot pace once again. But when they transition against this Phoenix Rising team, Phoenix Rising is starting to find some form. This team can attack. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. The question for them down the stretch was, what were they going to look like? Well, they only had one win in their final 7, and the attack was anemic. So you didn't have Manuel Arriaga, you didn't have Danny Trejo, and all of a sudden, those ideas are back to normal. Stylistically, you will get things similar in terms of overall setup of the shape. That's where the conversation ends. A lot more movement, the way that they build in Phoenix Rising. The front line dropping off to convolute the midfield. The midfield scares me. Wide open areas favor Sacramento Republic. Hart Health Park at home could be the advantage for the home team tonight and the #1 overall seed.
Kickoff is roughly 90 minutes away as you take a look at the difference between these two sides. Great goal-scoring team, Sacramento the edge defensively.
Yeah, so Phoenix, great, only 6 shutouts. Can you keep them quiet? Because that's the balance that I talked about. Sacramento Republic, they found the attacking form, once again, that really eluded them for quite some time within the center portion of this season. 6 shutouts in the last 9 games. It's almost an afterthought that they are going to keep you quiet. But can they do it against one of the most potent attacks in Phoenix Rising? It'd be hard-pressed to see this as a 1-0 game. This feels like a wide-open 3-2. I probably just cursed them and it's 0-0. We're going to pens though, right?
That matchup kicks off at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Here's your hosting order. If Sacramento wins, one of these 2 Eastern Conference sides will travel to Sacramento. If Phoenix upends Sacramento, one of these 2 Eastern Conference teams will host the final. That is next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN2. 1-0, Charleston leads at halftime against Lou City. A recap of the regular season comes your way next.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Saved by Austin Pack.
And Corey Bennett finishes it off with his head. Now for Anderson.
What a ball from Rafa Mensingen. And the Independents find their answer.
There's a brand new morning, rising clear and sweet and free. There's a new day dawning that belongs to you and me.
Charleston leads Louisville City 1-0 in the 2023 USL Championship Eastern Conference Final at halftime here at Patriots Point. Michael and Devin taking a look back at the award winners from the 2023 season. The Golden Boot going to Albert Dikwa. He took over the lead in the midseason and never relinquished it.
20 goals, not double digits, 20. Yeah, the idea for Albert Dikwa and how great he could be was never in question. For him, it was about health and what the supporting cast looked like underneath. But when you've got guys like Robbie Mertz, Danny Griffin, and of course, King Kenny Canardo Forbes, who produced a jaw-dropping double-digit assist season once again, you knew the conclusion was always going to be Albert Dikwa in goals. He reigned supreme there. The Golden Glove, it's a different conversation. Or is it really? Because Danny Vitiello, for the second time in his career and in the past 4 seasons, has accomplished just that. 0.50 goals against in 2020 with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the Eastern Conference. Sacramento Republic may have one of the best back lines and defensive units in all the league, but Danny Vitiello is an incredible shot stopper, motivator. When you need that special moment, he's the one that always seems to get you there.
And the Golden Playmaker in the USL Championship, San Antonio's Jorge Hernandez. 3 times this year, he had multiple assists in a match.
I never questioned the talent of Jorge Hernandez. The idea for him was going to be the level of consistency in front of him, or in this specific instance, the level of inconsistencies in front of him. He played with 6 different number 9s this season. Yes, Tani Uluwache scored 18, but you had Rita Zuhir, Santiago Patino, Ignacio Bailoni, and yet, throughout all those changes, one thing remained the same, his playmaking ability.
1-0 Charleston leads Louisville City at halftime. We'll have the highlights, the stats, and the second half kickoff in the Eastern Conference Final next.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Hey Google, turn up the heat.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
Charleston fans enjoying the night at halftime. 1-0 the advantage over Lou City. Michael and Devin ready to look at the first half highlights in this one. And if you were a little bit late getting to your television set, you missed a great start for Charleston. Nick Markanek, a great run through the middle of the field.
Just had to get through that initial line of pressure, and Charleston Battery were incredible at doing so for about 25 minutes. And Nick Markanek, as he takes the first one down, drags 4 separate players with him, was hoping he was going to be able to slip this in. Brian Omi did him a favor, as did Arturo Rodriguez. 5 minutes in, a moment of brilliance. Charleston Battery up 1-0.
Rodriguez scores for the second time in the postseason. And in the 22nd minute, How about this end-to-end play? Charleston seemed like they were going to add to their lead. Lou City nearly tied things up.
Working outside in, though, is where the Charleston Battery can really beat you, and especially when it goes quick fire. They've buried Louisville City in. Second bite as they come out. They don't get the first one from Derek Dodson. Charleston Battery fall asleep. Credit to Louisville City, who jump on their horses immediately the other direction. The problem is twofold. Number one, the run is a little bit early, to be fair, for Manny Perez. He starts the attack, but he jumps the gun. If he slows that run, Brian Ownby can hit him in stride. As he loses his footing, he gets a secondary option to the back post. Not the best route for them, though, but Louis City did a really good job fighting their way back into this match. They were losing the possession battle, their level of creativity, they were losing duels. All of that started to change at the 30-minute mark. The problem is, Michael, is you're already down 1-0 at that point.
Halftime stats brought to you by Heineken. Charleston didn't have a shot in the final 25 minutes of the first half, but they do outshoot Lou City in this contest so far, 7-3 over the opening 45 minutes of play. We're halfway home, potentially, to tonight's Eastern Conference champion. Lou City is in a 9th consecutive Eastern Conference final. However, they're on the road for the 4th time. They've only won once. That was a 3-1 road win added in the 11. They needed extra time for that one.
The Antoine Hopaflow, or Opano as everybody knows him, but the flow, that was his beautiful mane that got them back into things. Other than that, it's been troublesome. I will say that most of that was early on. It was 2015, 2016, Rochester Rhinos and New York Red Bulls. They've been so good in dominating the regular season, they haven't had to worry about going on the road since then. So you reach postseason play, everything has run through Lynn Family or Lynn Stadium. And as the years have gone on, they've just found a way to work through it. Charleston Battery don't have that distinguished history that Louisville City do, that you tell one of the oldest members of the American soccer pyramid that they don't belong in that conversation. I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Talking about that 2019 match, they trailed 1-0 until the 4th minute of second half stoppage time. Antoine Opano tied it up, and Magnus Rasmussen quickly into added time. And Luke Spencer put the match away in the 113th minute with a penalty kick. Is there similar drama in the second half here this evening in the Eastern Conference Final? Sacramento and Phoenix to play at 10 p.m. this evening in the Western Conference Final. Does Lou City have the comeback in them? Does Charleston add to it and keep this magical run alive? Ready to go in half number 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Charleston 1, Lou City 0, second half underway. With our broadcast crew and Devin Kerr, Michael Wattrang, elated to have you along with us here this evening. Thanks for joining us at Patriots Point in South Carolina, as Louisville City looks to win an Eastern Conference crown for the 5th time. No team in league history has more than 2. And the winner advances to the USL Championship final next Sunday on ESPN2. Charleston controlled much of the possession in the first 20 minutes or so. Louisville had their chances. Down the stretch. Not enough Cameron Lancaster or Brian Ownby. As the back line for Charleston have held strong. Charleston have only won twice against Lou City. They haven't won since 2018. That was a regular season matchup on this field 5 years ago. In that match, it was a 5th-minute goal. Attila Guerra scored in the 5th minute. Nabil Hackshaw added one in the 27th, and then an own goal made it 2-1. In the waning moments, a similar script so far tonight with a 1 goal in the 5th minute from Arturo Rodriguez. And Pierman talked about the process, the growth that his team has had. Such a different mindset from last season. Going to bring in some new players, keep some of the same, just change the mindset, the mentality, the culture within this Battery group. Pleasing to see what they've accomplished after nearly giving up the most goals in the league last season. Flag up here, Ownby offside. Danny Cruz, meanwhile, built a juggernaut. Was in the final last year, lost to San Antonio 3-0. Such an up and down season. Had a chance until the end to host a quarterfinal matchup in the East, but would end up losing 3 of the final 5 matches of the year. And we're in a hole against Memphis less than a minute in the opening round matchup. Rodriguez able to split the back line. Allen to his knees. Here's Augie Williams. Bouncing ball. Semla nearly overran it. Keeps it in play. Certainly Lou City has the skill set. You have Wilson Harris on the bench. Nearly 50 goals in his championship career. If you're Danny Cruz, how do you try to make any adjustments in the opening 15 to 20 minutes of the second half, down 1-0?
The only thing that I would say in terms of tactics is a little bit more side to side, but quicker. The midfields have been eliminated. There's not a lot of play coming straight up through it. Instead, it's more as a bridge to get to the other side of the field. And what we know in that conversation is that Louisville is currently heavily favoring the right, and the Charleston Battery are doing the same. So you pivot, we pivot. It's this nice little seesaw effect that's going. But within that talking point, as you start to go, remove the aspect of predictability. It's the idea to change quickly. If the Battery come high on the right, and then you immediately build through Manny Perez, well, there's more space over there. You just have to find a way on the defensive front to step out. So if Brian Ownby is coming deep, or Paulo Del Piccolo is pinching out there, how can you then become the extension to step in to that space that we talked about? It's one thing that both teams really struggle with in the first half.
Here is Perez. Trying to get to that ball, instead trickles out. Throw in. Patriots point. Work there by Mark Segbers. Didn't say his name a lot in that first half, but was brought in right at the tail end of the season. Took over for Declan Wynn. This is just his 6th appearance with the Battery. Perez winds up. Ownby cannot win the header. Leaping effort from Dodson. Corner kick coming. Lou City. Ogel is his target. Ogel bends for a couple different Lou City jumpers. A long shot. Bounces off of Charleston again. Another corner kick coming, this time from the near right sideline. Piccolo this time. Needs to take aim. Curls it. Once again, Charleston so good inside of the box defending so far tonight. Every first ball seems to find a Charleston jersey. With Del Piccolo and out from Charleston.
Charleston Battery always start hot. There's no doubt about that. Their ability to go find an opening goal. 11 now this season. The first 15 minutes, that's the most in the Eastern Conference and second most in the USL Championship, trailing San Antonio. But on the defensive front, 22 of 37 matches, their ability to eliminate that threat.
Lancaster offside. This is the frame anyway. Fans will let him hear about that.
You go into the dressing room with confidence because not only have you got your opening goal, but you've kept the opposition scoreless. To be in the company of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the Sacramento Republic as the top 3 in the league, you get a good reason why. Charleston Battery are no longer an afterthought at the bottom of the Eastern Conference table, but more so a threat, a constant talking point. A ton of credit given this team early because of how hot they started. And through Open Cup play, probably hard done by their result against Inter Miami, to be fair. But an influx of fixtures and really just trying to find the ability to maneuver any sort of season like any team does. Injuries, international, certainly the absence of Fidel Barajas, another thorn in the side this evening, though the scoreline wouldn't tell you that.
Lancaster plops one in. Gonzalez, Lancaster once more. Perez splits two defenders. Lancaster chooses a cross. I'd rather have him inside of the box. And that is where he is heading now. His way to Perez for the throw. Good turn from Del Piccolo. Perez. Excellent work there. Back on it after Gibson gave it back to him. Corner kick coming, no foul.
It's really good work on the right-hand side, though, from Louisville City. Paulo Del Piccolo and Manny Perez really starting to find some nice combination play over here. Jorge Gonzalez has thrown his name into the mix. Cam Lancaster, all of a sudden, everybody that you want moving forward to be involved certainly is so.
Piccolo. Charleston again. Wins the first ball, but it's another corner kick coming. Second time in the second half already. We've gone from one side to another for Lou City. Corners, set pieces, so critical. Danny Cruz saying that they've spent a lot more time in the last month on set pieces. How does this restart turn out? Mogel bends it in. Charleston blocks it once more. Mogel, left foot this time, not enough on that. Williams is onto it for a moment. There is no foul. City starting to show some of that championship pedigree. Charleston completely unfazed. This is a dynamic and brilliant run from Traeger. Williams. Pass comes all the way over. Markanek. Into Perez. Promising for just a moment. Rodriguez, the goal scorer, splits two. Can't get past Tosh. Ben Pierman joked that he'd like to see Sean Tosh make a mistake for the first time in his career. Flawless on that transaction.
Just go ahead and knock one into the back of his own net. He was actually very precise, Ben Pierman, the head coach of the Charleston Battery, he was.
Pierman said that the respect of who they are and what they've accomplished through the roof. More trophies than he can even count in the Lou City trophy case. Silverware on the line tonight. In the Eastern Conference Final, Lou City looking for a fifth. Doing it in back-to-back years. Charleston looking for their first since 2012. They won the championship against Wilmington after dispatching of Rochester in penalties. Segbers gallops along the sideline. Segbers elects for Markanek. Penalty! Charleston a chance to add to the lead. A decisive choice made by Elvis Osmanovic. He gave out 10 penalties in the regular season, the second most in the league. And he gives one here for the Battery to add to the advantage.
I actually thought they got the ball from the angle that we had, and really the first time that we've seen Mark Segbers this high up in an advanced position. Notice how he calms things down to allow this run to develop. He does get the ball. Yeah, the argument a referee's gonna make is that the tackle comes from behind, but Manny Perez gets the ball here. He doesn't want to hear it from the captain and Paulo Del Piccolo. He doesn't want to hear it from Ali Zemla. All the credit in the world to Mark Sedberg to allow this to develop. But as he goes, see the first angle, it really looked like he got the ball. That one, maybe he catches the knee. That is very, very close.
Semla has one penalty save this season. Augie Williams steps up here. Top goal scorers in the league this season. Can he make it 2? Augie Williams spies. Augie Williams strikes. Augie Williams stings the strings. Charleston 2, Lou City 0.
The mountain just got a bit bigger for Lou City and what they have to climb. But let's go back to the challenge that was on the diagonal. Again, that's very close. From that angle, it looks like he gets the ball. The other side, contact first, doesn't matter anymore. 12 yards out and almost automatic for Augie Williams. Only 9 touches heading into the dressing room. Eliminated from contention in the opening 45 minutes. Regardless of scoreline, to maintain success, you have to get him involved. And even though it's from a penalty, he'll take it any way that he can get it to double the lead, and the thought that this journey can continue on a little bit longer.
Augie Williams 3 for 4 in the regular season in penalties. Was denied on September 30th at El Paso. The third final regular season match of the year. Augie Williams strikes. It is his second goal of the postseason. And now the hurdles for Lou City continue to grow. Ben Pierman talked about with us when we spoke with him the other day. Clarity, one of the keys of his group. Process driven, but wants to be clear with what his expectations are for his side. Did that this week. And the Battery, a great start to the first half, a great start to the second half, but 30 more minutes to go against the 4-time Eastern Conference champions. Slips, slings it away. Fortunate it wasn't worse. 60th minute. Arturo Rodriguez, a free kick in the 5th. Augie Williams, a penalty in the 58th. Both set up by Nick Markanik drawing fouls. Michael Watring, Devin Kerr, our broadcast crew, thanks for joining us here this evening. In the Eastern Conference Final, a spot in the championship on the line here this evening.
There's the emotion that Ben Pierman talks about, harnessing it. And almost like the goals never happen, right? We're still here, we're still going. Arturo Rodriguez and Screen Actors Guild Award that never will be. Just unnecessary at times. Got to be really careful in those situations. The referee doesn't penalize you more.
Williams slightly off. Adams ensured that that would happen. Otherwise, Williams would have had a full break. Kaza. Foul whistled here. He's asking for cards. Arturo Rodriguez making his push as well.
And they've brought in Carlos Mogo a little bit deeper next to Tyler Gibson. They're going to allow him to float for sure, but as they're trying to build, they've brought him just a little bit deeper. Ryan Omby coming further into the depths of the defensive shape to try and build off of each other. It's the overload on the inside, and when Manny Perez gives himself the ability to get high in that conversation, all of a sudden, you're talking about a very interesting 5-man midfield that has speed, it's got depth, combination play is one of the biggest assets that this Lou City team possesses. The problem is they've given themselves that look. They haven't been able to capitalize on it. Jorge Gonzalez and Cam Lancaster not finding the same sort of rotation up top and defensively. Both Derek Dotson and Mark Segber staying home. So the idea in the first half where you would get maybe a 2v1, maybe a 3v2 for Louisville City, all of a sudden it's a 4v1 or 4v2, much more difficult to break down. Linear in nature, as flat as they are, but it doesn't matter. This is a numbers game for the Charleston Battery right now, both on the scoreboard and on the back line.
Shots are 9-5. In favor of Charleston, and they're looking for more. Markanik. This is it off a defender. Semlock grabs it. 5 seasons, 5 different title winners. Don't miss the dramatic end to the USL League One campaign tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 as North Carolina FC welcomes its Dogwood Derby. Rivals Charlotte Independence, who will etch their name in the League One history books. Ownby to the near side. Gonzalez, high arcing ball over everybody though. There's an extra man over there. Second ball in. This one headed. Muse though grabs it. Lancaster giving it a change.
That's not a bad look though for Louisville City whatsoever. Good amount of patience displayed, as even though they weren't able to get on the first one, the amount of bodies that you get in, and I would say that there are a couple of subs coming on the sideline, though the immediately concern that's going to go on here is to the far side of the field, and what would be some cramping for, I believe it's Tristan Traeger.
Four changes for Lou City. Wilson Harris, Oscar Jimenez, Dylan Maris, and Elijah Winder all come in. Sharpie, Ownby, Gibson, and Del Piccolo all coming out.
One would imagine they're going to chase some of the tactical ideas that was earlier this year, and Danny Cruz switching in and out of this 3-back system. It's sort of a 3-4-2-1. They call it a 3-4-3. They play high, but to me, if they go that direction, the best thing you're going to get is to have someone like an Elijah Winder, who does such a good job of being one of the building blocks, coming out of the midfield, stepping onto the front line, and giving you this look. Now, the real question is going to be is, what does it actually look like within the midfield, if that's the look that they chase? Because you could go 5 overall, force the Charleston Battery even further to the exterior. You have your 2 strikers up top, and Wilson Harris and Cameron Lancaster. The real question is where Dylan Maris is going to fit into this equation.
Charleston adds to the subs. It's Beto Avila coming in, replacing Tristan Traeger. Traeger was the lone change for either side in this match. Fidel Barajas with the Mexican U17 side. So his day done, and the 4 changes for Lou City. City needs at least one, you would think, in the next 10 minutes or so. What will be the magician for Lou City? Lou City unbeaten in its last 7 matches against Charleston. Lost to the Battery since 2018. Williams. Rodriguez goes down. There is no foul. Winder Perez on this right side. Perez trying to get around. Segbers unable to do so. Win though for Lou City. The box it goes. Markanik spirals it out to midfield. Semla waits. Winder. Rodriguez does well. Markanik. Williams was offside, so that doesn't allow for the outlet. And then Winder. It is Rodriguez.
Wow.
Called for the foul.
That's incredible work by Arturo Rodriguez to get around him, and he was trying to find Augustine Williams with the initial ball in. Williams in an offside position, and just what seemed to be brilliant work to get around the outside of him. One has to imagine it's the right arm right there that pushes away, but a shirt tug, I'm assuming. Again, with Elijah Winder leading into it. Arturo Rodriguez has talked himself out of a situation eventually, but now back into the book as he picks up a yellow card in the 69th minute.
Yellow cards brought to you by Spink's Convenience Stores located around South Carolina. Free kick quickly taken, and then Maris, ambitious, skies one into the seats. Space and time for Maris. First time ball, looking for Harris. Bierman said this match will be won with restarts. Tactics won't surprise either side. I mean, no new wrinkles that you would expect in this one. Free kick goal in the 5th minute changed the game. And then a penalty given in the 57th minute allowed Augie Williams to add to the margin for Charleston. 20 more minutes to go in the Eastern Conference Final. Devin Kern, our crew, Michael Watrang, enjoying this one with you as we dial it up here for the final 20 minutes of this match. Fine work here. Lancaster unable to get there in time. Segbers sends it away. Where does Lou City start needing to take a couple more chances?
My idea would be that they were going to try and shift into a 3, though with the changes itself, you don't necessarily have the personnel to do so. You're asking either Manny Perez or Oscar Jimenez to sit on the back line, and that's just not their nature. So they are going to continue to roll with the 2 center backs, though very aggressive from the other 2 in Jorge Gonzalez and Dylan Maris. So it puts a lot more pressure on the inside for Carlos Mogel, but he's comfortable. You know, at just 20 years of age, Carlos Mogel has done such a good job working himself in. Now it becomes how clean can you be, and you're getting an idea that as they start to pick up more passages, those windows to operate within are tightening. The Charleston battery aren't willing to send as many numbers forward, so as advanced as Danny Cruz has tried to push his troops up through this attacking front, there's reservations being given by Ben Pierman that you can certainly agree with, sitting on a 2-goal lead, that, hey guys, we have no reason to chase this game any further. If Louisville make a mistake, great. Arturo Rodriguez, Augie Williams, go get it. Otherwise, sit back and take what the game is giving to you.
Here's Rodriguez. Allen puts it forward. Avila goes down. No foul. Koenig, a piece of that one. Now here's Williams. Flawlessly feathered over the top. Koenig doesn't win the race. Winder spins it forward. Foul given. in the 73rd minute and a 2-0 lead for Charleston. Glory is within reach. Find out who will be crowned the title winners of the USL Championship in 2023. Sunday, November 12th on ESPN2. Kickoff slated for 7 p.m. Eastern. Long distance shot blocked away by Allen. There's space. Lancaster makes the run. Winder gets to the second ball. Line can do no wrong for Charleston right now. With 17 minutes or so left and a foul whistle. We spoke with Ben Pierman this week. We asked, how do you combat the experience of Louisville? Because that would be a big storyline of this. He mentioned the respect, but he hoped that it would just be a 90-minute match. It would be Lou City against Charleston. Team versus team. Knows that Lou City will not get rattled. Won't be overconfident if they did have a lead at any point. And Charleston looking to become just the 3rd team in league history to go from missing the postseason to into the title match in the span of a year. It happened in 2012 to 2013. The Charlotte Eagles just missed the postseason by a couple points. Would lose to Orlando in the final. And then Orange County, again, just a couple points off of the postseason race in 2020. Won the final in 2021 over Tampa Bay. This is unprecedented, though, with the biggest turnaround in league history. Plus 34 points in the regular season. And Charleston now 16 minutes or so away from getting to a final. After having just 25 points last year. They had more points on the road this year than they had total points all of 2022. Rodriguez around defenders. Rodriguez more than content with killing some time. Does give it away, however. Does Louisville take advantage? Lancaster taken out. Palma calling for the foul. It has been a physical match, but only 2 bookings so far. Rodriguez about 5 minutes ago. Brian Ownby in the first 5 minutes that set up the Arturo Rodriguez free kick goal. Quarter hour to go. Perez has that ball skip up, get out of play into the Charleston bench.
The rhythm of the game almost fully removed with 15 minutes to go, as has Ben Pierman done so from the technical area. First time all match, 75 minutes in. We've seen the head coach of the Charleston Battery take a sigh of relief of sorts. He feels the idea of being in the title match is well within reach now. I'd be very careful what you wish for, knowing the historics that have seen a Louisville City squad pull from the depths of anywhere in this league, regular season, postseason. Certainly conference title games, most recently the idea of the 2019 match at Indy 11 at the Mike. Everyone wearing blue and white that night thought that the game was over. Louisville City had other ideas.
Here's a good cross in, but again, canceled away. Perez now, where does he want to go? Maybe too patient that time. Allowing Charleston to get back to their marks. Maris.
That's a ball.
Can't get over the top, however. Maris once more. Really well to get past 2. Rodriguez now. Rodriguez, high arcing ball. Adams will not win the race. Semla has to do well here. Shaky for a moment, gets it away. Charleston can take more time off the clock. A year of ups and downs for both sides. Blue City in a very unfamiliar spot. Their lowest finish on the league table in club history. More of a point of how great the club has been since 2015 than it is an indictment on this year's group. Segbers commits the foul.
Quicker
goes down.
Yeah, they got to pick this up. Your tempo has to be faster if you're Louisville City. Charleston Battery are doing everything to perfection right now, disrupting the rhythm of the game. These little knocks, they take away the ideas that Louisville City are trying to build upon. And at this point in time, the referee's going to let them get away with it. The tendency here is that most officials, oh my.
Dotson takes the brunt of that for Oscar Jimenez. The clock will stop.
One hopes this is not as bad as it looked head-to-head, and looks like it's exactly just that between Derek Dotson and Oscar Jimenez. Just prior saying that a lot of times when you get into those games, Michael, where it's foul here, little knock there, the referee will let you get away with the first few, and then he recognizes your pattern. He'll step in and he'll issue a card. Now, we haven't seen that yet. And Danny Cruz has certainly let him know that, hey, listen, fourth, this is another stoppage. Over the last 10 minutes, there's really been no ideas whatsoever that have been allowed to display themselves on the field because of the lack of open run of play. That's frustrating as a player. That goes back to the emotional conversation we've had with both managers, how difficult it is to manage things down the stretch when you can't control it. Louisville trying to get back into the game, trying to be on the ball, but the Charleston Battery are just having none of it. Again, take what the game's giving to you. The Battery's doing all that and more right now.
I can't think of a moment in the second half where Louisville was extremely potent in their attack.
They make the same argument for the Charleston Battery. Really the one opportunity that came forward, and
Rodriguez stumbling. Rodriguez. Fine work here. Nick Markanek, as of now, does not have a goal, but his performance has been something special, and now he goes down here in the 80th minute, with Charleston leading at 2-0, looking to get back to a league final for the first time since 2012. The club's 31st season. Get back to a championship match. Look at this. Rodriguez's shot blocked away, and then Markanek coming in with a slide tackle.
Tremendous work ethic here. Young man and Markanek, who both he and his brother coming out of Northern Illinois. Striker by trade, actually came into the organization as that left mid, left forward type guy who was still trying to find a way to score goals early on in his career, and he was so used to one specific system, kind of playing in a 4-3-3 almost as a 10. But striker, certainly where he made his money. 36 goals, but the work ethic. Ryan Swan, his head coach there, always talked about how he was one of the players off the field that would truly change the culture of the team, where they wanted it to get to. Very similar programs in the sense that Northern Illinois, not a powerhouse, but bringing in so much talent in one season. The Charleston Battery doing the same here. And that's a credit to the recruitment by Lee Cohen, Ben Pierman. Again, these pillars recognizing what a great community they have, the ownership group, the aspirations, and how to fully grasp all of that, put it together. And they admitted that they're a little bit ahead of schedule, probably about 6 months. Probably tonight as well, with the offensive output getting started early. 5 minutes in, Arturo Rodriguez sticks this into the upper corner. That'll be his curtain call. Robbie Crawford, one of the originals here to help see things out. And one would think that maybe that was all they were going to need, though the Augustine Williams penalty doubled the lead, and inside 10 minutes to go, it's been cruise control ever since, really.
Allen dealing with trouble. Marcanic. Charleston have been in control from the start. Early goal. There were a couple chances for Lou City in the first half. Really not much in this second half. But all they could need is one here in half number 2 to get that spark back. Allen being held up. This will be a booking without a doubt. Miguel going in the book. Allen was starting to pull away. Miguel sensing that and sensing a break being on, just had to take the foul. Not trying to dig his team any further. Yellow cards brought to you by Spinks Convenience Stores, located across South Carolina. Perez, corner kick. Jimenez crosses it in. A rare time tonight where Lou City won the header. This one over everything, however. Lou City will make their final change. Jorge Gonzalez is coming out. And it's going to be the club original, Lionel McCabe, coming in. Has been with this Lou City team across the entirety of the journey. In 2015, the first year of the club, getting to the Eastern Conference Final. That has been the standard, 9th consecutive season. A team with more conference championships than anybody else in this league. Down 2-0, about 5 minutes or so left. Here's Avila. It's around, takes a tumble, foul is whistled, booking as well. It was initially the yellow card, and it indeed will be a second yellow to Mogel. Just the second red card that Elvis Osmanovic has given this season.
How good is this on the sideline, though, to just advance this thing forward on the diagonal, and the run from Avila. Watch the touch, right back into the path of Mogel. Can do nothing on the trailing run from Carlos Mogel, except watch this player impede your path, and high IQ from the Texan. It's going to be a swan song to not be remembered for the young man from Shelbyville, and the great season that has been his development.
Nick Marcanic steps up, cannot beat the wall here. His sights set on the punctuation mark. Well, with Lou City down to 10 men. One more change coming here for the Battery. AJ Cochran, the 30-year-old, coming on. And Marcanic's night does come to a close right there. He didn't score tonight. He didn't have an assist. But his run set up Rodriguez's free kick in the 5th minute, and his run as well set up a penalty that Augie Williams finished in the 58th.
It was a quality shift for Nick Marcanic to allow this team to get ever closer to the goal that they set out for. Again, both Lee Cohen and Ben Pierman, president and head coach respectively, saying that didn't necessarily know if they were going to be able to reach everything that they've been able to accomplish this year so far. The recruitment, the vision, the perseverance. And to be clear, on the other side, for a Louisville City squad that many people didn't even feel they had a chance to work themselves anywhere near where they've been able to come in their ninth straight either conference final. Is there anything left in them? About 2 minutes to go here.
Andy Cruz was furious after the performance against New Mexico on September 30th. The team came back despite the best week of training that he thought, with a 1-1 draw against Hartford and a team that finished at the bottom of the league table. But they're able to win in the postseason on penalties against Memphis and then 4-0 against Detroit. Run appearing it'll come to an end here tonight. But as you mentioned earlier, that Indy 11 match, everybody had packed their bags. Antoine Openo scored the equalizer in 90+4.
Well, they were on that side in 2019 and 2021. They were on the receiving end of a comeback from the Tampa Bay Rowdies with inside 10 minutes to go that saw them get even. Push that one into extra time. Anything is possible. And if the belief still exists out of all teams in the USL Championship that you could put your money on to summon something from the depths to go grab yourself at least one, possibly two, at the death of a match, one would imagine most money would be put on a team like Louisville City.
Oscar Jimenez puts it in. That hits the post and it goes in. Lou City has a heartbeat in the 90th minute after just missing it off the left post. Kyle Adams scores on a header, and Lou City is not done yet.
They acquired him on July 26th. The left-footed center back saw Enoch Mushagalusa sent to San Diego in a trade that really benefited Louisville City. To get to a 3, to get to a 4, his height, his versatility, and the aerial prowess that can be, albeit on a redirect. Just said to you, anything is possible for any team, and certainly for the 4-time Eastern Conference and 2-time USL Championship title winning Louisville City squad.
Extra time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. 4 more minutes to go. The last time that Charleston beat Lou City, it was 2-1 in 2018. They actually add a 5th minute now of stoppage time with the goal. Update that, 5 minutes of added time. Down to 10 men though, because Lou City have enough gas left. They certainly have the quality and skill. Charleston wants to bookend this. Advantage played. Still no foul whistle. Bodies tumbling all over the place. Play on though. For Charleston fans, it is a classic seat swarmer. Four more minutes to get back to a title match for the first time in 11 years. Lou City with just 10 men on the field. Desperate to equalize. Perez. Anything can happen now. Maris. And a sight set for Harris. Perez once more. Curls it around. Second ball here. Shot. Hits a teammate. Charleston sends it away. Semla trying to rescue the time, hustling after it. 2nd minute of 5 here in added time. Winder. Bouncing ball, tumbling, foul is whistled. And a little bit of extracurriculars here. Maris and Archer have words. Segber and Maris have shoves.
Dylan Maris felt like this was a bit of a weak foul. Mark Segber's had other ideas. Just watch him reach back through. And you know what, from the first angle, didn't think he touched him, but certainly the studs of Dylan Maris encompassing that entire left boot of Leland Archer, the center back for the Charleston Battery, standing strong centrally.
We're into the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Perez goes down. Allen is going to be booked. Free kick here for Lou City. Is this the moment to equalize? Muse stays back. Charleston sends it away. One more chance to get it back in with this formation. Semla is up. He goes down. Maris had the ball clip his hand. And now Charleston can drain precious seconds. Crowd that has been buzzing all evening. Arturo Rodriguez, a free kick goal in the 5th minute. Augie Williams, a penalty kick goal in the 58th. Kyle Adams gave Lou City a heartbeat in the 90th minute. Off of a corner kick with a header despite being down to 10 men. And now Charleston trying to get out of here. How much more time is left? That foul. The last piece. Williams was in an offside slot. There's the full-time whistle. Charleston continues its magical run. Eastern Conference champions and back to the title match for the first time since 2012. The Battery beat Lou City 2-1. Arturo Rodriguez scored in the 5th minute. Augie Williams with the eventual game winner in the 58th. 2-1, Charleston takes it. Trophy ceremony, and we tie a bow on the Eastern Conference Final as the Battery win it. Final score brought to you by Wicked Weed. 2-1 tonight. Stick with us.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up. in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up and education has received billions in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
The final score this evening, Charleston 2, Lou City 1 in the Eastern Conference Final. The Battery are back into the USL Championship match for the first time since 2012. Tonight's Heineken man of the match, Arturo Rodriguez, had the goal in the 5th minute. And time to take a look at the full-time highlights brought to you by Bud Light here this evening. And what a start it was for Charleston. Both coaches wanted to get off to a great one tonight, and Nick Parkanik made a great run through the middle of the field, drew the foul. Arturo Rodriguez would do the rest.
How much could you get your midfielders involved in Chris Allen and Emilio Acosta to help break up passages of play for Louisville City? Well, it didn't really matter because of the individual effort by Markanik and then the utter brilliance by Arturo Rodriguez. A set-piece specialist from just outside the top of the box. Picks out the upper corner. They're off for running 1-0. Now Louisville City would work themselves back into this game. Quality possession, not a ton of opportunities, but as they move higher and higher, more space as vacated, stepped in behind, beautiful diagonal, take it down, point to the spot. Augie Williams, 2-0, the Charleston Battery.
Battery led 2-0, and Lou City went down to 10 men in the 86th minute. Oscar Jimenez throws one in. Tosh hits the left post. Adams scores. Lou City had a heartbeat at 2-1 in the 90th minute, but in stoppage time, no goals. And our full-time stats brought to you by Heineken. Lou City ended up having more shots, more possession, but Charleston took advantage of their set-piece opportunities, scoring twice here this evening and beating Lou City for the first time since 2018.
The predictability aspect for the Charleston Battery once again steps up to the podium and says, we ain't going changing, right? It's that simple, that the Charleston Battery are going to be who they are. Does not matter who the opponent is on the other side. They have been linear at times. They have been great from set pieces. They have been, in theory, easy to break down. But everything that you see on tape is very different in person. They eliminated the midfield threat of Louisville City. They kept the game on the outside. They made them play on their turf, on their demands, the way that they wanted to play. And the Charleston Battery walk out of here with an opportunity to put another star above their crest.
So Charleston victorious here this evening by a 2-1 finish. And they have not trailed at all so far in this postseason.
What a year. I mean, for a team that experiences their worst regular season in USL Championship play dating back to the modern era, the beginning as we know it, which starts in 2011. They had so much success for so long. Quarterfinalists in that year. Of course, conference opponents didn't really exist then. It was more divisional, scattered, teams in, teams out. But they took down the title in 2012. Back to the semis in 13, and then from there, it was basically a run of, okay, we're top 8. Then it became, okay, we're good enough to get into the final 8 of our conference. And outside of the run in 2020 that saw the shortened COVID season and the great matchups that were against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, they've been eliminated from everything. They turned over 71% of their roster. A new president and Lee Cohen, a new coach and Ben Pierman. The vision, the expectation put forth, the goal halfway there, and an opportunity to bring a decade's worth of searching full circle.
Charleston team that at one point lost 7-0 to San Antonio. 4 matches later, 4-0 to Indy 11. 2 straight matches with losses in the second and third final matches of the year for the first time this season. But silverware is in hand here for Charleston. The greatest turnaround in league history warrants a trophy. What a performance it was by Charleston. The greatest turnaround in league history. The 3rd team in league history to miss the playoffs the year before and go all the way to the title. Arturo Rodriguez scored in the 5th minute on a free kick. They would add to the lead in the 58th minute on a penalty from Augie Williams. That proved to be huge. Kyle Adams added 1 in the 90th, but the final score, Charleston 2. They're into the final November 12th at 7 p.m. Sacramento and Phoenix await. For David Kerr and our entire crew, I'm Michael Wattrang signing off. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.